Welcome back to the Obsidian Daydream Crochet Along. This is part number 4, which is our final part. I am so happy you guys are still here, and I hope you guys have really enjoyed this crochet along. I have, but I am relieved that it is, for me, now officially over. So for part number 4, this is the edging, which is 4 simple rows. And when I say 4 simple rows, I mean they are easy peasy lemon squeezy. As for 3 rows, we are going to be working a mesh that just has to deal with some chain stitches and single crochets. And then for the last row, we will be working with some half double crochets and some picots. Now you can also add a little bit extra spice to this shawl and add some fringe here on these little petals if you would like. That is completely optional. Now I have not blocked this shawl, but I do highly recommend, especially as you can see, this last row here is a little mangled up, if you will. So to get more of a uniform, neater look, I would definitely recommend blocking if you would like. So if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always feel free to email me, which will be down in the description box, or you can also ask away in the comments. Now, when you are done with your shawl, if you would like to showcase, I would love to see those either by email, which will be down in the description box, or I do also have a Facebook community group where you can showcase there as well. That will also be down in the description box. And with your written consent, I would love to share on the YouTube channel, but also when I have the written pattern fully completed, if it's not already by the time you are seeing this, then I would love to showcase those on my written pattern, but give you the appropriate recognition. So if you would love to send me pictures, you can again do so by email or Facebook community group, but that is not a requirement by any means. So let's go ahead. If you guys are ready, I am, and let's knock out these 4 rows real quick. We're going to go ahead and pick up on row 52, which is going to be our first row for our trim. We're going to start off with a chain of 5. And let's go ahead and turn our work. We're going to skip the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and in that 4th stitch, we're going to place a single crochet. And we're going to do that all the way around our shawl for row 52. So go ahead and chain 5, skip the next 3 stitches, and in that 4th stitch, place a single crochet. Again, chain 5, skip 3, and in that 4th stitch, place a single crochet. One more time, chain 5, skip 3, and in that 4th stitch, place a single crochet. Go ahead and continue repeating this. When you make it to that chain 2, you should have a single crochet before that chain 2. You're going to chain 5, you're just going to skip that chain 2, and then you're going to skip the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, and a single crochet into that 4th stitch. And then you're going to chain 5, skip the next 3, so 1, 2, 3, into that 4th stitch, place a single crochet. Chain 5, skip the next 3, and in that 4th stitch, go ahead and place a single crochet. Go ahead and continue repeating this until you have made it to the end. When you get to the end of row 52, you'll have 2 stitches left. You're going to go ahead and chain 5, and into that last stitch, you will have a single crochet. So for row 53, we are going to go ahead and chain 5 and turn our work. And into that next chain space, we're going to place a single crochet. We're going to chain 5 again, and place a single crochet into that next chain space. Chain 5 again, and place a single crochet into that next chain space. You're going to go ahead and continue repeating until you have made it to the end of this row. So again, one more time, you're going to chain 5, and then you're going to place a single crochet into that next chain space. When you make it to the end of row 53, you should have a single crochet into that very last chain space. So row 54, we're going to go ahead and start off with a chain of 7. Go ahead and turn your work, and we're going to place a single crochet into that next chain space, and we're going to go ahead and continue repeating that for row 54. So we're going to chain 7, and then single crochet into the next chain space, chain 7, single crochet into that next chain space. One more time, chain 7, and single crochet into the next chain space. Go ahead and continue repeating for row 54. For our last and final row, we're going to go ahead and start off with a chain of 2 and then turn our work. So into this very first chain space, we're going to place 3 half double crochets. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to do a chain 5, and then we're going to do 3 chain 5 picots. So first we're going to start off with a chain of 5. So once you have that first chain 5, we're going to do our first chain 5 picot. So chain another 5. And then now we're going to go into the very first chain of that picot, and we're going to go ahead and slip into that chain. And then we're going to do another chain 5 picot. Again, we're going to slip back into that same space. And then we're going to do another chain 5 picot. Slipping back into that same space. And then now we're going to do a chain 5. The biggest thing when working this is you definitely want to make sure that your picots and your chains are not twisted. So let's do another chain 5. And then we're going to go to the next chain space, and we're going to place 3 half double crochets. And that is going to be our repeat unit. So this is what your stitching should look like. So you have 3 half double crochets, a chain of 5, and then 3 chain 5 picots, and then another chain 5, and then 3 half double crochets into the next chain. So let's do that again and start off with a chain of 5. And then we're going to do our first chain 5 picot. So you're going to slip back into that very first chain of the chain 5 picot, do another chain 5 picot, slipping back into that same space, and then one more chain 5 picot. Again, slipping back into that same space. And then we're going to chain 5. And then in that next chain space, we're going to place 3 half double crochets. Do that with you a few more times. So after you have those 3 half double crochets, you're going to chain 5, and then you're going to do a chain 5 picot, slipping back into that very first chain of that chain 5 picot. You're going to do another chain 5 picot. Again, slipping back into that same space as that first one. And then one more chain 5 picot. Again, slipping back into that same space as that first and second. And then another chain 5. And then 3 half double crochets into the next chain. And we're going to go ahead and repeat that process again. So after you have those 3 half double crochets, you're going to go ahead and chain 5. And then chain another 5 for your picot. Slipping back into that first chain of that starts the picot. Chain 5 again. And making another picot, slipping back into that same space as that first one. And then one more chain 5 picot. Again, slipping back into that same space as that first and second picot stitch. And then once you have all 3 picots, you're going to chain 5. And then you're going to place 3 half double crochets into that next chain space. We're going to go ahead and continue repeating until we have made it to that very last chain. So I'll do that with you one more time. After you have those 3 half double crochets, we're going to start off with the chain of 5. And then chain another 5 for our picot. So if it helps you just to chain 10, go ahead and do that. And then just slip into that 5th chain for our picot. Chain 5 again. Slipping back into that same space. And then one more picot. And then you will do another chain 5. And then 3 half double crochets into that next chain space. So let's go ahead and continue repeating that until you have made it to that very last chain. And there we have our beautiful Obsidian Daydream Shawl. Again, you can block this if you would like, and also add a fringe on the end just for little finishing touches if you would like. Again, I just want to say thank you for joining me in this crochet along. It is my pleasure to host it, and I cannot be more thankful for each and every one of you. Again, if you would like to showcase yours, you can always feel free to email me a picture, or also place a picture in the Facebook group if you would like. But I just also want to say thank you to those who have either shared the crochet along on their YouTube channel, on their blog, or wherever you have shared this crochet along. I am so thankful and greatly appreciated. And if you haven't shared, please maybe give that a thought so other people can experience this beautiful shawl as well. But I believe that is it for this crochet along. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always feel free to reach out to me, again by email, or ask away down in the comments. But please enjoy your shawl, share it off, and I will see you guys in the next video and or crochet along.